Plagueis, ever watchful through whispers and holocalls, pulled strings behind the curtain. He had no need for a boy. He needed a storm, and Sheev was becoming one. He entered the world of politics with cunning far beyond his years, guided by a nobleman named Vostrel, a veteran of the courts, and one Plagueis placed in Sheev's path like a pawn. But it was Sheev who learned to move the pieces. He studied the ways of diplomacy, the art of rhetoric, and the vulnerabilities of power. To his peers, he was brilliant. To his enemies, invisible. And when Vostrel's usefulness ran thin, a quiet accident ended his career. A speedboat malfunction, or so the reports claimed. With Trell gone, Sheev rose faster. Now seen by senators and monarchs alike, invitations arrived, influence grew, and beneath it all, his master's voice echoed through encrypted channels, urging, guiding, testing. And slowly, ever so slowly, he began to wonder. What if he was the one destined to command the dark? Not as an apprentice, not as a servant, but as the only true master. For Sheev Palpatine, the time would come to rise, not beside Plagueis, but over him.
You summon me, Master?
You have proven yourself, Sheev. It is time you learn what few have ever known.
With Plagueis placing greater trust in Sheev, he drew him deeper into the forbidden knowledge of the Sith, secrets of the midichlorians, the manipulation of life and death itself, and the long-conceived grand plan to destroy the Jedi and seize control of the galaxy. Yet even as Sheev listened with apparent reverence in the shadowed corners of his mind, he already envisioned a future where he would rule alone.
You are the storm, the darkness that commands the stars. None shall stand before you. The galaxy will bow, and you alone shall reign.
Under the shadowed hand of Darth Plagueis, Sheev Palpatine was ushered into the opulent halls of power. Among the noble houses, the wealthy dynasties, and the architects of influence, he moved like a whisper of ambition. The great families of Naboo, the merchant lords of the core worlds, the silent kings of trade and finance, all opened their doors, unaware they were welcoming a darkness they could not foresee. As Sheev Palpatine took his first steps into the world of politics, he quickly earned a reputation for his sharp mind and ruthless efficiency. In no time, he joined the Youth Legislative Program, a training ground for future senators and governors, and was introduced to Vidar Kim, a powerful senator of Naboo, who would later become his political sponsor. With Plagueis setting his sights even higher for his apprentice, it was time for Sheev to leave behind the shallow games of Naboo's aristocracy and step onto the grand stage of galactic politics. Coruscant, the Senate. Coruscant, the center of galactic power. Sheev Palpatine became both student and predator, while the galaxy saw a young noble learning the ways of politics. In truth, he studied corruption, ambition, and control, and he understood. This republic was a hollow shell, a rotten tree waiting to be felled. With Plagueis guiding him from the shadows, Sheev prepared for the day he would no longer serve, but command. Fate, or something darker, soon opened the way. The aging Senator Vidar Kim, mentor, ally, obstacle, met an untimely end under mysterious circumstances and dies in a speeder crush. The halls of power mourned briefly and forgot even quicker. In the shadow of his fall, Sheev Palpatine rose, young, brilliant, and unburdened by conscience. Backed by Naboo's wealthiest families and guided by the unseen hand of Darth Plagueis, he claimed the senatorial seat. Now, no longer just a student or a whisper in the dark, Sheev stepped onto the grand stage of galactic politics, wearing the face of a savior, hiding the soul of a Sith.
Honorable Senators of the Galactic Republic, I stand before you, humbled by the trust placed in me by the noble people of Naboo. We are a world of beauty, tradition, and resilience, but we are not immune to the tides of change. In these times of uncertainty, Naboo seeks not isolation, but unity. We offer our voice, our vision, and our values to strengthen the very foundations of this republic. I vow to champion peace, prosperity, and progress. I will work not only for the security of my homeworld, but for a galaxy where diplomacy prevails over conflict, where order rises above chaos. Let this be the beginning of a new era, not just for Naboo, but for all systems that yearn for balance and representation. Together, let us forge a stronger republic, one united and indivisible.
You wear the mask well, Senator. The galaxy begins to whisper your name with respect and fear, but you are not yet unbound.
Unbound from what?
From your past. You speak of power, of destiny, yet your blood still flows from the same weak veins that raised you. The final test, my apprentice. Go back to your hometown. Erase what remains of Sheev Palpatine. Erase them. There is no room for weakness, only strength, only will.
And so, he returned to Tatooine, not as a son, but as a shadow. To sever the last threads of his old life, to silence the voices of weakness and shame forever. This was not revenge. It was the final purge, the price of power. He had severed every tie to his old self, and the last shadow of mercy burned with the house behind him. Now, a Senator of Naboo, cloaked in diplomacy by day and shadow by night, he returned to Coruscant, not as a servant, but as a chosen heir. Darth Plagueis awaited him in the depths of their hidden sanctuary. And there, in the heart of darkness, Sheev would take his final step.
You have done what few could. You are free of the chains of weakness, of sentiment. You have become inevitable.
I feel nothing. No fear, no doubt, only power.
Then rise, my apprentice. From now on, you'll be known as Darth Sidious. Let the galaxy feel the storm we shall become.
For even as his master dreamed of eternal rule, the apprentice had already begun to rule in secret. He planted roots in the criminal underworld, spun promises in the ears of senators, and in the shadows, he prepared his first weapon, a silent warrior raised in pain, hatred, and loyalty. In the dark slums of the city's forgotten levels, where crime syndicates ruled and Jedi presence had long faded, he found him, a child, horned, scarred, Zabrak, not a student, not a Sith, not yet, a shadow, a secret, a blade hidden from Plagueis' eyes.
No one sees me, but one day they'll all kneel.
There was no ceremony, no ritual, only a promise made in the dark. He named him Maul, soon to become Darth Maul. With his past buried in fire and silence, and his new identity sealed in the shadows, Darth Sidious emerged not as a man, but as a force in motion. From the grand chambers of Coruscant, the young senator from Naboo became a phantom presence behind every political shift, every whisper of unrest. Under the watchful eye of Plagueis, he cultivated more than power. He built networks, manipulated trade routes, orchestrated disputes from the shadows. And then came Maul, the silent blade of the Sith, trained in darkness, released in secrecy. As war simmered on the edge of the galaxy, Sidious moved like a composer, orchestrating fear, division, and desperation. The people would beg for order, and order had a name. When Naboo fell into crisis, it was no accident, but design. As the years passed, and when the Senate demanded a savior, only one figure stood ready to answer the call. Sheev Palpatine, Senator of Naboo, at the age of 50, was elected Supreme Chancellor of the Galactic Republic. The galaxy applauded, but in the darkest corners of Coruscant, a different celebration awaited. For now, the apprentice had become the master, and the time had come to claim it all. As the Republic celebrated its newly elected Supreme Chancellor, Darth Sidious raised a glass not just to victory, but to the end of an era. That same night, behind closed walls and shadowed intentions, his master, Darth Plagueis, lay in a deep, intoxicated sleep, his aged face hidden beneath a mask he rarely removed, unaware, vulnerable. In silence, Sidious approached. No blade, no blood, only the Force, cold, invisible, and final. With calculated precision, he ended the life of the Dark Lord who had once guided him, and in doing so, became the true master of the Sith. With Darth Plagueis gone, Sidious stood alone, master of the Sith, and newly appointed Supreme Chancellor of the Republic. But one cannot rule alone. In the shadows of a fractured galaxy, he cast his gaze toward a disillusioned Jedi Master, Count Dooku, a man of power, nobility, and rising doubt. Sidious saw not just a tool, but a future instrument to divide the Jedi Order from within. Their meeting was quiet, private, far from Coruscant, where Republic eyes could not follow. There, Sidious whispered truths that Dooku had long suspected, of corruption in the Senate, the blindness of the Jedi Council, and the need for a new order. And Dooku listened.
The Republic is rotting, Count. The Jedi have become its blind gatekeepers. You see this, don't you?
I see. Disorder, hypocrisy. But betrayal is not the Jedi way.
Not betrayal. Evolution. You are not like the others, Dooku. You seek truth, justice, power to correct what's broken. I offer you that power.
If I do this, I become what I once swore to oppose.
No. You become what the galaxy needs. The Jedi's time is over. Join me, and we will bring order. True order.
The Republic is beyond saving. The Jedi have lost their way. I will not stand idle while the galaxy falls into chaos.
The Jedi Order has cast you aside. The Senate is a hollow puppet show. You've seen the truth. Now speak it.
I will consider, Lord Sidious.
Then you are ready. Kneel. From this moment forward, you are no longer Count Dooku. You are Darth Tyrannus, my new apprentice.
With Tyrannus now serving his master's will, Darth Sidious began setting the pieces for a future galactic war. In the shadows of Kamino, a forgotten world erased from Jedi archives, Tyrannus approached the cloners under a false identity. Using the name Sifo Dyas, long after the real Jedi Master had vanished under mysterious circumstances, Tyrannus commissioned a grand army, an army of perfect soldiers, obedient and bred for war. It was the birth of the Clone Army, an army not for the Republic, but for the Sith.
Jango, you come highly recommended. Cold, precise, unquestioning.
I don't ask why. I ask how much.
A clone army, millions of soldiers, identical, loyal, efficient. They will all be you.
Then I want one thing more. A single clone. Untouched. No growth acceleration. No programming.
A son? Do you mean? All right, the deal is done.
Chancellor, this is Commander CT-0991 reporting from Kamino. The clone battalions are fully operational. All units have completed training. Orders are awaited.
The board is set. The Jedi, blind in their pride, will lead an army they do not control. The Senate will rally behind a war they did not foresee. And the galaxy will beg for order.
And so, the pieces are in place. The Republic will wage war, the Jedi will lead its armies, and the Dark Lord will pull the strings from behind a smiling face. But soon, a boy, born of mystery, will rise through the ranks of the Jedi. Loved, feared, destined. But not all destinies end in light. For even as one empire rises, another is waiting to fall. And soon, a shadow greater than any before will emerge and reshape the galaxy forever.